All right, our first lesson is going to be about understanding you. So if you haven't yet, definitely pull out the PDF that you can download or pull it up on your computer, and we're going to go through and I'm going to explain to you this communication model. I was always taught that if you really want to, understand how other people are in terms of how they operate and function, you really got to understand how you operate and function. And there's a lot of things that play a role in how we function and interpret information. So your life is run by experiences and filters that stem from an early age. Here's the model that explains how we break down external events into meaning from one experience to the next. We are flooded with a mere 2 million bits of information per second. However, our mind can only process about 126 bits. Once this information enters our mind, we begin to immediately run these bits into meaning through a series of filters. This is why when you and a friend go out and maybe watch a movie and you talk about the movie after, some of the times you don't understand what they're talking about or experienced in that movie, and vice versa. It's because we are flooded with so much information and our brain only is able to take in so much at a certain time, and it breaks it down through these filters and then gives us a representation of that when we communicate it either outwards towards other people or even just to ourselves of what just happened. Think about the last probably 5 or 10 seconds. You might have been listening to my voice coming through the video. You might have been looking at what I'm wearing. You might be wondering what's behind me, or you might have even been distracted by the things around you. That is why it's so crucial that if you want to grow in life and become better, is that you really become aware of your surroundings and really get a good understanding of what information you're taking in, and then also really studying that information over and over and over again through repetition to really understand its full meaning, because our brain is off in so many different directions throughout the day, and we have thousands if not millions of thoughts that come through our brain throughout the entire day, and it's really tough to really focus in on some of the key things that may show up from time to time. Now, the communication model is a series of 8 filters that every human being runs through when information is presented to them. So the first one is time, second one is space, language, then it's memories, decisions, values, beliefs, and attitudes. So when those bits of information, those 126 bits, come into your brain literally goes right through all of those different filters, and then at the end you get a representation of what just happened. This is why sometimes people can get offended with certain language where other places might not be offended by that language. Or you might say something to somebody and then they get a total different meaning of what you actually tried to say. Think about it. How many times have you been in a relationship where maybe you said something to your partner and they took it totally the wrong way? Well, what happened was when you gave them that information, they ran it through a filter, and through these different things, their beliefs, their values, past experiences, sometimes even language, gave out a totally different representation of what you were actually meaning. So when you understand this, and you understand this is how people operate, it gives you a lot more clarity and also gives you a lot more respect for where people are coming from, not only when you're sharing stuff with them, but also how you are breaking down information. So think about it, as things go on in your life, as things happen, as information comes to you, think about all these different filters and ask yourself, am I getting the best out of this information, this content, based on what I'm building up in my mind as an understanding around it? Look at your beliefs, look at your attitude towards information. If you want to change some of these things, you can. A lot of these filters are really environmental and also from when we were raised and how we were raised. We adopt a lot of these filters from our family members, relatives, even our educational system when we were at a young age and not really knowing a whole lot just yet. The great news is you can change any of this. You can change your values, you can change your beliefs and your attitude, and even you can learn a new language even, and you can erase old memories. So all this stuff is not permanent. You can definitely change it. And we're going to break down a little bit more in detail in the next couple lessons about how to really cause a change to get a better understanding of yourself, but also those who you share your life with and communicate with.